Scarbo. Today we have something really interesting.
Yep, we have Coach Pachi from Mythosis. So over to you, Coach. Introduce yourself, and if you could talk about your project, please, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Scarbo. So I'm Coach Pachi, and I have been collecting NFTs since 2021. And I just started to have my own project this February 2022, which is Mythosis. So Mythosis is actually a story that I was writing in 2020, wherein it is composed of Philippine mythological characters and creatures. And the word mythosis is a combination of two words, mythology and mitosis. Now, mythology, as we know, is a system of beliefs concerning deities, and mitosis, which is a word in science that means replication of cells. Now, in the combination of these two words, we had this idea that we live in worlds that are actually replications of one another. So this, in making sense out of this, it means that there are multiverse. There are replications of other planets, other worlds. And in this plot that we have, it is the human realm and the spiritual realm. Now, that would be the word that we use in our entity project, which is Mythosis NFT.
Nice. So it's kind of parallel universe kind
Yes.
of thing. Okay.
And
Excellent.
you have one collection for NFTs, or are there more than one?
Actually, we started with Duende, which is actually a Philippine version of dwarves.
Interestingly, Duende is dwarf also in Portuguese.
Yes, and also in Spanish,
Yes, I speak
Duende.
both, so that's why it caught my attention. Is your language similar to Spanish and Portuguese?
Yes, actually, since there are Spaniards who came into the Philippines.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
that's the reason why. I think they really had that influence when it comes to the mythology of Philippines. So actually, in the Philippines, duende are those little beings that occupy amount of land, amount of land, and somehow like the goblins in other mythology. And I think it's just similar
Right.
with other mythology, really. And for our second collection, we have the Maligno NFT. These are actually demons in many mythology. So in the Philippines, we call them Maligno. Now, the reason why I actually choose these characters is that because the literature about them is actually already dying. Many Filipinos are not really aware of those characters. They're not actually aware of the story behind them. And it is really sad
That's a shame.
that they're actually forgetting these stories.
It's ancestry. It should be carried on. That's a shame.
Yes, and they're actually always recycling themes. They are recycling stories that are actually been there for a very long time, to the point that these stories that our ancestors have, they have no idea what the story is about. They have these stories of with a theme of love, right? And betrayal. So those are the common stories and the common themes that are now
Yeah.
present. But how about these stories that our ancestors made? So it's sad that they're forgetting them.
Is that a reason why you decided to do this collection, to bring it back out there and hopefully resurrect it within the Philippine community? And
Yes, that's
get
actually true. Since I've seen that many Filipinos are actually involved in the NFT space, I see this as an opportunity for them to have interest with their
Yeah,
stories again.
that's
But
awesome.
we're not actually only focusing on the Filipino community, since actually we want the other countries to also see that there are actually similarities with the mythology. There are actually similarities in the belief,
Yeah.
and it connects us. It connects us with our past.
But unfortunately, people seem to forget the past and history and lose. It's a shame they lose their history so easy.
Yes,
And it,
that's actually true, and perhaps that is also one of the reason why there are less people who have love for for their country, right?
yeah. So looking down at the traits and characteristics of the malignant, is this going to be like a NFT game as well, or is the role and that just something that goes along with the NFT?
Yeah, tell us a
Uh,
little bit about the how they work. Is there a utility? How are they different? Is it just visual? Is there some kind of functionality? I see here, this is kind of like a playing card, right? So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
okay, so for this view that you're seeing, this is actually just for the purpose of viewing, that they're able to see what are the traits that are available in
Right.
the Maligna NFT. So just for creative visualization.
Interesting.
But one thing that we will be doing, since we are not actually planning yet to have a game, we will be having a comic that it will feature this NFT characters that they have.
Right. And people will be able
And
to buy the comic.
actually, it will be free for holders,
Right.
but it will
Okay.
be given as for a raffle.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Would say someone didn't buy the NFT, like say in the Philippines, would you make the comic available for say the younger generation to learn more about the history of mythosis?
Yes, actually, all of the traits that we have there have significance when it comes to the history and the mythology of
Yeah.
Philippines. So as they're able to see these characters and also the traits, they would actually be learning also from the things that they see. And other than that, we also have a profit sharing utility for the NFTs. That
Oh, excellent.
when they buy NFTs, uh, part of the royalty fee will be shared among the holders of our NFTs.
Cool. So giving something back
Is
to
that a little bit
people who
similar
support.
to the other project we just had on a while back? Or
Cyber jail.
yeah, someone had something similar with the NFTs where they were sharing a part of the profits, which is a nice utility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we really would love to give back to our holders, and other than the art that they would like,
Yeah.
So how many are there?
there will be 3,000 Maligna NFTs.
And they're on
Right.
Ethereum?
Yes, they will be in Ethereum for free mint.
Free mint
Free mint.
NFT. Nice.
Nice. That's good. And obviously you've got a Discord, which we'll put a link to. Where
You have a
people
link
can
tree
come and
on
have a
here. We
chat.
can post that when people
Yeah.
want to read more about it. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And then just maybe you want to touch on the cyber on Cyber.io real quick. Because this is like a gallery, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Actually, these characters that you're seeing, these little creatures are called duende. They are the dwarf version of the Philippines. So these creatures actually have powers. Some of them are elemental powers, and
Yeah.
some also give luck to others. So that is our first 100 NFT collection, 100 duendes.
Right.
What about
And that,
these guys in the middle here?
So those guys are part of our collection that is actually one of ones. Those NFTs are the actual characters that we will be putting in our comic strip.
right. Okay.
And for holders, we also treat that as a utility that we can choose among our holders who would we make as a character in the comic strip that we will be having. Now, for example, this person in with the red uh, clothing, that is actually me.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah.
that's my version of a
You.
character
Your character, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
in our
So
collection.
how many are on your team, Coach? Is it just you or
Um, we actually have 4 people in the team. Me as the founder and also the head of operations,
yeah?
and then we have 2 web developers, and then an artist. So we are actually 4.
Right. Okay. Excellent. So you're a teacher. Are you trying to teach this to your students as well, or is this something that's being taught and trying to bring back into schools? Or
Actually, I'm teaching also this literature to our students, and actually that's where I started sharing this particular creatures.
yeah,
And when it comes to extracurricular activities, I actually teach also NFTs and cryptocurrency as a way to
yeah,
help the NFT community, to be honest, because we all know what are the thoughts that people are having, the negative ideas about NFTs. And I try to teach students about the misconceptions with
yeah,
NFTs
yeah.
cryptocurrency.
It's not all a scam. It's not all what you see on Facebook or whatever. It's an actual thing because a lot of people have that misconception.
Yes, and actually, always make sure that it is still part of the curriculum, and
Yeah,
it actually is.
good.
Yeah, this generation is growing up with a, to us, new world, but for them, it's going to be daily life. So it's
Yeah.
really good to prepare them. What you're doing is excellent.
Oh, I
Yes,
wish
it's
I
actually
could.
true.
I wish I
Especially
could
now
work
that
with.
there are different companies that are coming into the NFT space. I saw Instagram, which they actually incorporated posting NFTs already.
I mean, they'll be looking for, these companies will be looking for people who are aware of crypto and Web3 and all that. So they are going to need to know about it. It's has to become part of schooling, surely.
What is your main place where people can hang out and find out about the Mythosis NFTs? And is it the Discord that is the most popular place?
The most popular place for us is actually Twitter, and
Okay.
we talk a lot in Twitter Spaces. Sometimes Twitter Spaces that are held by me, or sometimes other projects Twitter Spaces. And yeah, we talk a lot in different Twitter Spaces.
Anything else you want to ask, Scarbo?
No, no, I just think good for you teaching your history back to and trying to bring your history back to life within the Philippines. I think it's a
Yeah, I can't wait
fascinating
to
idea.
see the comic book, right? That's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, since we're actually onboarding artists also, and as well as also we're trying to protect the environment, since part of our sales will be used to for environmental concerns, since we all know what are the people's thought about the effect of Ethereum. So of course we will still want to help the environment. So Yeah, but since
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Are you
Yeah.
planning maybe going to other blockchains? Maybe XRP, since that is launching in a few weeks, probably. Or have you not thought about that? Are you going to stick with
um
Ethereum,
actually we thought of being in Polygon
Yeah.
right?
since it is cheaper and also
It's on OpenSea as
has
well, isn't it?
less negative impact when it comes to the environment.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like a smart and lean version of Ethereum in a way, right?
Yes, yes.
And you
Yeah,
can do that on Ethereum anyway, can't you? So
yes. Yeah, yeah.
that keeps your collection on OpenSea, which is good.
So everyone who is interested, we're going to post all the links below
Yeah.
and you can find the link tree with all the links to the social media. Check out the Discord, the spaces that you have sometimes on Twitter, right?
Yes, yes.
Coach, anything else you want to add before we close out?
Um, other than artists, we actually also onboard musicians and also videographers, since they are usually doing this particular talents in Web 2. We would like them to be actually engaged also in the NFT space and into the blockchain.
So you're looking for people to get in touch with you that have those skills, right?
Actually, we would be preferring to get those people from our NFT holders. So as
Oh,
Right.
part
right.
of the
Yeah,
benefits that they would be having, they are able to apply for those particular positions.
sounds interesting. Great stuff.
Interesting. Excellent.
And I think
Thank
that's
you.
it, right?
Thank you
Yes,
ever so
that'll,
much,
that'll be
Coach,
it.
for educating us on Philippine mythology and folklore. That's
Yeah, I can't
excellent.
wait to see what's coming next and also your art comic book.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
And thanks for being here.
Thanks ever so much for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you ever so much. To the moon.